What's up, guys? Before I jump into it, my friends over at G Fuel ended up bumping up code ESPRESSO to 30% off, not only in celebration for the holidays, but also in celebration of Season 1 for Black Ops Cold War and Warzone. If you guys want to restock or try something out for the very first time, be sure to use code ESPRESSO. If you're interested, links in the description below. With Black Ops Cold War Season 1 kicking off here, we ended up getting that Warzone integration that we are waiting for. And with that Warzone integration means a new Warzone update. And if we follow the track record of recent updates, that means a new Easter egg. With the last couple of major updates for Warzone, we saw an Easter egg of some kind, giving us a blueprint reward and maybe a little bit more of the lore and backstory for Verdansk. But this time, it's actually on Rebirth Island, to which, again, we get some backstory here for Rebirth Island, but also, you're probably more interested in the actual blueprint. And I don't fault you for that at all, because it's a pretty cool blueprint. But if you complete this, you get that blueprint within Black Ops Cold War and Warzone. So today, we're gonna run down a brief little guide on how to do that and obtain that blueprint for yourself. So that said, as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Firstly, I guess, how you enjoying Rebirth Island? Are you liking it? Maybe not so much. Do you like the blueprint that comes along with this Easter egg? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts. As well, if you are new to the channel, do be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on that road to 400,000 subscribers, and we'll keep you up to date with all things Black Ops Cold War, Warzone, and guides on Easter eggs like this in the coming days to weeks as we continue on with the content. If you're interested in joining the community, I'd love to have you. Finally, if you use support a creator code ESPRESSO in the in-game shop, feel free to tweet me a picture. I'd love to shout out some of your generous support. That said, let's talk about this Easter egg and how to complete it. First things first, a little disclaimer. Right now, it comes down to a little bit more luck than normal. In time, when every location is fully figured out, I think it'll be a little bit more clear, but for the time being, some of these lists are incomplete, but I think that we have enough of these locations known and referenced that you can familiarize yourself with them, and you have the information on what you need to do in order to complete it. But a big shout out to Geeky Pastimes and his crew who initially completed this, as well as everyone I've been working with to hunt down more locations and complete this to the best of our abilities so far. Secondly, as with some of the Easter eggs we've already seen throughout Warzone, and most recently, the subway station Easter egg where you had to start down at the Verdansk Capitol building, then make your way over to the subway stations, and then go to the service subway station that is not normally on the rotation of subway stops. This Easter egg is going to be game specific, meaning that the codes that you'll end up getting, the images you'll end up finding, even down to the briefcase spawns, it's all fresh each match. It's not the same pattern. It's not the same items that you'll end up seeing every single time, meaning that you have to actually actively go and look for this to complete it every single time. And if you do it once, you can't keep that in your back pocket to run your friends through it and just simply input the code and get them the blueprint right out of the gate. So the briefcase will not be the same spawn every time. The images that come out of it are not going to be the same each time, and the code to enter the bunker is not the same each time. The best possible way to complete this in any given time is, of course, to familiarize yourself with locations, which you'll see on screen right now. I compiled a little bit of attack map with the known briefcase spawns, photo reference points, and bunker location. And the absolute best way to do this is with 3 people in your squad going for it, because some of these items and locations you need to visit will span the entire length of the map, one side to the next. And with the zone moving in on Rebirth, it is possible that you get cut off by the gas and are unable to complete this unless done early on, with again a full squad going and referencing these items. But once you find that briefcase spawn, we found when going for it that it often spawned at areas closer to the edge of the map, a lot of the times spawning near the water or a pier extending off into the water, though there are some locations again that aren't necessarily directly right next to the water. But when you find that briefcase, you'll notice that there are 3 pictures that have fallen out of it. Those are images of places around the map, and there are reference numbers painted onto walls or other surfaces that are near that. So those images that come out of it are reference points on where you should be looking for said numbers. Sometimes those numbers are in plain view, sometimes they're hidden very well, but you'll need to find the numbers correlating to those reference images. This is perhaps the hardest part, because this is where it comes down to familiarizing yourself with the map and the details that come along with it. So it may take some time to figure out where each of these reference pieces are if you're learning the map for the very first time, but once you find them, you'll just need to note the order of the numbers that you're looking for. Now, the code itself is an 8-digit code to get into the bunker. You'll get 3 sequences from those reference images, of course, but you'll end up getting 2 that are 3 digits and 1 that is 2 digits, making up that 8-digit code. Now, what helps to differentiate the number and the order you'll need to put these in is the dash locations on each of those numbers. The first numbers of the code sequence you'll have to input do not have dashes in front, they have a dash after those numbers. The middle 2 numbers will have a dash before and after, and then the final piece of that code sequence will have a dash at the beginning of the number sequence that is listed on the wall. So, for example, my code was 286-77588, but whenever we found these numbers on the surfaces that they were painted onto, it was 286 -77- and -588. So we knew what order to put them in. Now, truthfully, that's the hardest part of finding the briefcase and finding those reference points. Once you jot down those numbers, head to the bunker building, which is the yellow building next to the lighthouse, and from there you can input your code. If you did it correctly, you should be able to open that bunker and head on inside. Once in there, there's honestly not a whole lot to explore, but a lot of stuff to learn out of what we have in that small area. Firstly, of course, if you pick up that Milano blueprints of the red room, that will then credit it to your account, and you will be able to have this for as long as you continue playing Warzone and Black Ops Cold War. It's there for you, and I think it actually applies to everyone in your team so long as one person picks it up. So of course, if you are playing solo, you'll pick it up, you'll get it. But if you're playing in either a duo or trio right now within Rebirth and 4-player quads, whenever that is inevitably introduced, that is something that you'll be able to then have it for everybody so long as you complete it. But outside of that, there are some other cool things here with this. Of course, you end up getting a few chest spawns in there in which you can get a decent amount of cash. You can end up getting the durable gas mask, you can get the specialist bonus, you can get foresight, that perk that shows you all of the locations of these circles coming down to the final one. But there's also some things scattered around there that give some hints for maybe upcoming content and a little bit of the lore. Now, as for the upcoming content, potentially, on the one bulletin board or cork board there are pictures of what looks to be Rebirth at night, which could be a teaser or something in reference to the old version of Alcatraz, which was set at night. But looking at these images a little further, the models for the buildings and everything look the same as they do on Rebirth, meaning that it's not the Blackout engine that we had in Black Ops 4, but instead, right now, the current Warzone engine. So while it could be something in reference to the old map, it also could be something like we saw hints towards the upcoming night modes back whenever they were not released yet in Modern Warfare and in Warzone last year ahead of the Haunting in Verdansk update. So this could be something that happens here with this where we get a nighttime version of this map at some point, but that's there. But also, one cool thing, if you are interested into the backstory here within Black Ops Cold War and within Warzone, there are 2 letters on the desk that are very tough to make out, but you can, and thanks to Geeky Pastimes for transcribing these, we get a little bit of information on what these actually relate to, in which it fills out a little bit of the storyline here from where we were with Black Ops 1 and where we are now in Black Ops Cold War, a handful of years after that storyline takes place. And the one letter, Colonel Kravchenko, is writing to the chairing committee of the CCCP in relation to the demolition of Vorkuta. Of course, that labor camp you're taken to in Black Ops as Mason, where you meet up with Viktor Reznov, but we learned that Viktor Reznov actually subverted Mason's conditioning as a sleeper cell agent. So filling out some of the backstory on why those things were seen in the original Black Ops, where Mason thinks he is Viktor Reznov, leading to Steiner's death of, I am Viktor Reznov and I will have my revenge. But in this letter, they stated that they found Reznov's notebook in which it has some of the ways listed and how he subverted that training. The second letter is from a few years earlier, also to the chairing committee, but this time from Dragovich, detailing that the numbers program is officially discontinued. Now, this letter, being 7 years earlier than the last one we just mentioned, was the initial one, and it gave a few other details talking about the riot at Vorkuta, which he says was completely unrelated to the failure of being able to control Mason's psyche, and that they'd be moving on to Mount Yamantau and their research facility there. Now, outside of anything until the very tail end, it looks like just a normal report letter. But at the very bottom, we end up seeing that Kravchenko actually made a note that said Dragovich covered his ass after the breakout and tried to blame Steiner rather than Kravchenko. The seeds of distrust amongst those, the frustrations between the two, are clearly laid out here in these letters, and again, just kind of fill out that backstory and lore for Black Ops Cold War and the subsequent Black Ops universe. So pretty cool to see that as well, but that's everything that is included here within this Easter egg and what we have so far. So hopefully this helped you out in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully this guide can help you get that red room blueprint if you are interested in it. But for right now, that's where we're going to wrap it up. So I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. Do you like the blueprint? Do you think the Easter egg is worth it? Do you like the lore setup in the backstory with this Easter egg? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts. But hopefully enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops Cold War, Warzone, and anything Season 1 related. We still have so much stuff to talk about. So if you're interested in any of it, make sure you stick it here on the channel. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. I live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.